It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not even about us. It's about legacy. It's about what we choose to leave behind for future generations. And that's why, for the next year, and for the first time since 1974, the best and brightest men and women of nations and corporations the world over will pool their resources, share their collective vision to leave behind a brighter future. It's not about us. Therefore, what I'm saying, if I'm saying anything, is welcome back.
The work of a single organization, the Syndicate. A rogue nation, trained to do what we do, imbued with a new sense of purpose.
The Syndicate, you say?
Yes, sir. That's what he calls it.
Somebody sing.
I think you've been
Somebody
hurt.
sing.
Let me
Somebody
get somebody to help you.
Sing. Sing.
I think you've been hurt.
I'm all right.
I think you've been hurt.
Watch your step there. Watch your step there. Huh? Oh.
Come on, easy, easy.
Oh, man, I can't stop that blood, man.
You got a car or something?
Martha! Martha!
What happened? Can you please tell me what happened?
In my empire, life is sweet, just asking upon me. Life may be one
Is there anybody down here can help us?
but it don't worry me. Come on, everybody sing. It don't worry me. It don't worry me. You may say I ain't free. It don't worry me. Everybody, don't worry me. It don't worry me. You may say I ain't free. It's not gonna worry me. Price of bread may every song. It don't worry me. Tax relief may never come. It don't worry me. Economy's depressed.
Come on, I need you. Come on.
My spirits high as they can be. You may say I ain't free. It don't worry me. Oh, it don't worry me. It don't worry me. You may say I ain't free. It don't worry me. Oh, it don't worry me. It don't worry me. You may say I ain't free. It don't worry me. It don't worry me. It don't worry me. You may say I ain't free. It don't worry me. It don't worry me. No, it don't worry me. You might say that I ain't free. It's not gonna worry me. Now we know we're peaceful. There's gonna be nothing left in our trays except Clorox bottles and plastic glass bottles, red
wouldn't be a screwdriver you have there, would it?
Why, yes, it is.
I've heard so much about them, but I've never tasted one. May I?
Be my guest.
They put too much vodka in for my taste.
They did? Oh, I mean, yes, they did.
We have a lot in common.
Yes. What month were you born?
December.
Sagittarius. We're not suited. It would never work out.
Let's see if we can't double-cross the stars. What's your name?
Ellen. What was that for?
Oh, just testing.
One test doesn't prove anything. You don't taste bad for a Sagittarius.
Let's cut out of here, Ellen.
You can't fool around with the planets.
Oh, I know something much more reliable than the planets.
There just isn't anything.
You wait right here. I'll be back.
Oh, can I get a picture? Just one.
Not right now, thank you.
Great shot with that thing. Hold it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. This computer will prove to you that the planets are wrong.
Well, it's just making a lot of sound.
Yeah, but you have to understand what it's saying.
Do you know what it says?
Of course I know what it's saying.
Hey, a little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark, a little less fight, and a little more spark. And close your mouth and open up your heart, and baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Baby, close your eyes and listen to the music and dig to the summer breeze. It's a groovy night and I can show you how to use it. To come along with me and put your mind at ease. Hey, a little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation and satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark, a little less fight, a little more spark. And shut your mouth and open up your heart, hey, baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Come on, baby, I'm tired of talking. Grab your coat and let's start walking. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Don't procrastinate, don't articulate. Girl, it's getting late. You just sit and wait around. A little less conversation, a little more action. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark, a little less fight, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart, and baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Satisfy me, baby. Satisfy me, baby.
So we just had lately not only one, but 3 women who got the Nobel Peace Prize. 3 women. 2 from Liberia, 1 from Yemen. As a woman, how does that make you feel? And is it a sign that indeed more than ever in this Aquarian age that we enter into, we need to rethink about the feminine, rethink about this essential element that has been pushed away for thousands and thousands of years?
I think indeed it is time to rethink the position that women have in the world today. And basically, it's going to begin with our belief systems, our belief system as a woman. And if we really examine who and what we are, we're the givers of life, and life starts in our womb. And what many people don't understand is that as the young child grows within us, every thought that the mother has, every meal that the mother has, every breath she takes is being downloaded by that unborn child. That actual fetal tissue is determining itself who and what it's going to become. And by the time the baby is born, 50% of the baby's personality has been actually manifested. So the responsibility that women have needs to be ingrained in their belief system, that we have this amazing power. You know, the Jesuits have been famous for saying, if you give me the child, I'll make you the man. But the woman's role as the mother and the grandmother and the great-grandmother is to impart this powerful love, holistic paradigm within each one of us. If you take a child before it's 6 years old and you get it outside and put its hands in the earth, teach it how to plant a seed, water that seed, nourish that seed, make it grow, and then eat its fruit, and you surround that child with animals, it's powerful, because children will learn their nonverbal communication skills from the animals around them. And when you have a child that nourishes and cares for an animal, they grow up to be a human being, male or female, that nourishes and nurtures other people. I've always felt that love is an action verb. It's not how much love we receive. It's how much love and nurturing we put out in the world. So if we're 50% formed by the time we're born, we can empower women by making them realize that every breath they take, every word they utter, and their entire belief system can be imparted on a one-on-one basis. That's powerful.
What about you? You're incredibly young, Pat.
Yes.
What do you do?
Part-time worker in a store in Belfast shop.
A store in Belfast?
Yeah.
You're very slim and athletic, aren't you? Are you?
Yes.
Do you do athletics?
Yes.
What do you do?
Football.
Football?
Table tennis.
Table tennis?
Swimming.
Darts?
Yes.
Bit of darts? And what's the relationship between the two of you?
Just friends.
You're just good friends? Now, what about you, Pat? Are you courting?
No.
Do you know what courting means? Do you know what courting means?
No.
Do you know?
No.
Have you got a young lady you're tampering with?
No. No.
No. Have you not really? Well, a slim, good-looking lad like yourself, he should have a young lady, shouldn't he, Tony?
He should, yeah.
He really should.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much. We don't often get clubs like this, you know. We don't often get with compares and chairmen like this. I was working at a Catholic club last week in Wigan. I could tell it was a Catholic club because they called the bingo numbers out in Latin so that the Protestants couldn't win. It was a funny club. Laugh, I nearly passed my fags round. Now... Now behave yourself, come on now, imagine there's an act on. I come originally from a place called Morecambe. Now... What is it?
We will not have bad language in this club.
Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman. I'll just carry on with this one. Now, what I'm going to tell you good people about now goes on a lot in Morecambe. It certainly doesn't go on here in Manchester. A little bit in Swinton. And sometimes in Pendlebury. But in Morecambe, now listen to this because I haven't heard this myself. There was this fella having this affair with this married woman. Oh, there's wicked! And he was at home with her and he shouldn't have been there and it was all happening. Good gracious me. And in the middle of all this activity, he heard a noise outside the front door. He got a bit upset. He said, who's that outside the front door? She said, oh my God, it's my husband. Oh my God, he said, where's the back door? She said, we haven't got one. He said, where do you want one? Because with all this petrol, you know, the petrol's gone a bit silly now, hasn't it? It's gone up and we've got to do a lot of travelling on the train now, especially in this business. We've got to travel about a lot, especially with this act. You know. Some better turns in Manchester Eye Hospital. Now listen. Sorry, Bernard. And now listen, it's true this. And I was standing on Crewe Station, I was there, it was 5 to 12, coming up to midnight, I was waiting for the train down to London, and the train plummeted into the station and it stopped. And there was this fella standing next to this woman, and he was talking to her and smiling, and he was impressing her. They weren't married because they were getting on together, and, you know, And they fascinated me, and I watched them get onto the train, and he said to her, he said, are you going to London? She said, yes. He said, well, I'm welling with the guard. He said, I'll bung the guard, tip, bung the guard. He said, and we'll get a sleeper. She said, well, that's very nice. So they got bung, and they got the sleeper. He said, I'll take the top bunk, you have the bottom one. So he got in the top bunk, and she got in the bottom one, and the train were plummeting toward London. Dip your bread in, tell them nothing. Let them buy a programme. The train were going through Nuneaton, and this fella was just dropping off. He was just going, and he felt this nudge in his back. And he said to himself, quick as a flash, oh. Who's that, he said. And she said, it's me. She said, I'm rather cold, she said. Do you think you could get me another blanket from the guard? Could you tip him, and could you... Well, he said, we could pretend we're married. Oh, she said, I'm all in favour of that. He said, well, get your own bloody blanket. Now, what we do in this... Sometimes when we get audiences like this, you know, when you're intimate and that, we can tell these clever, sophisticated stories like the fellow went to the doctors, he said, have you got anything to make me sweat? The doctor said, yes, I'll sign you off. And again... I love the Welsh. I think they're very, very friendly people, the Welsh. Marvellous, aren't they? Warm. Have you anybody in from Wales at all? Anybody? Where are you from, please? Where are you from? From Cardiff. Well, you can't win them all. Cardiff. Got a football team in Cardiff, haven't they? On that television programme called Survival. I heard about them. Hey, they've gone down, haven't they? I'm sorry about that. Lovely story. They have a lot of farms in Wales, hills, mountains, valleys, rocks, sheep, and all that, you know. I got GC in woodwork after 7 attempts. I know, I'll tell you. Absolutely true, this. There was this farm, and all the women of the family had died, and it left the grandfather, the father, and the son on this farm, and they used to run it. All of it. They used to watch one another like hawks. And one night, the son was missing, and the grandfather and the father were sitting there in this little kitchen, lovely place, flag floor, clean nicks, lovely. Nice. Leaded grate, they were sitting there. Hey, woo. And it got 10 to 10, and the father said, where's Boyo then, isn't it? 20 past 10, in he came, the son. And the father said, look at it, isn't it? Boyo, look at now. Come on, Eisteddfod. Where have you been till now? He said, look at the time. Wait, look, it's dark and that, isn't it? Where have you can't have been up to any... Where have you been? He said, I can't tell you a lie. He said, I've been up the road with Elsie from the top farm, he said. Oh, you know Elsie, he said. I said, oh, boy, he said, such passion. And a fortnight passed. And they carried on doing all the chores that they do on these farms. And the father was missing. There's a grandfather and the son. They were sat there watching the telly, epilogue, everything. That's the shortest programme on television, you know. Oh, is it the epilogue? And... 10 past 12, 20 past 1, in he came, the father. And the son said, Da, look at the time, isn't it? It's tomorrow. Where have you been? He said, I can't tell you a lie. He said, I've been up the road with Elsie from the top farm. He said, you know Elsie? He said, oh, he said, oh, boy, he said, such passion. Now, 3 weeks passed. Is it fire practice? Are we all right? And the grandfather was missing. There was the father and the son. They were sat there, 20 past 12, 2 o'clock, 20 past 3. They went to bed. They got up next morning, milked the bull, funny farm. They were having the breakfast, 20 past 9, and in he came the grandfather. He was pale. Ashen, no less. Songs from the shows. He walked in, he said... The father said, look at you, boy. He said, look at you. Grandad, he said, look at the time. He said, you've been out all night, he said. You can't have been up to any good. He said, where have you been? He said, I can't tell you a lie, son. He said, I've been up the road with Elsie from the top farm, he said. You know Elsie from the top farm, he said. He said, oh, boy, he said, such patience. Now then, we're going to sing a little song now, Bernard. Can we do that little song? You're very nice. Now, what we'd like to do now, we're going to do a little musical item for you now. We were going to play for you on the bugle. Thank you, Bernard. That's... Thank you very much indeed.
Good luck.
Thank you, Bernard. We were going to play for you on this tonight, The Flight of the Bumblebee, but we can't do it. But we're going to play Flight of the Crippled Gnat. Come on now, lads, imagine you're musicians. Come on, all together. Did you hear about the 6 nuns playing Russian roulette with 5 pills and a Smartie? Well, I Bernard.
How long have you been playing that trumpet?
Only started last Saturday.
And at what time?
Oh. Just a minute. Now, come on, don't mess me about. Try and do it like the rest of the lads. Get it right.
All right, this is like a long time ago. When people were going out west, like cowboys and Indians, they used to go out west to get... There was gold out there. People were looking for gold. Horace Greeley was a guy with a... He said, "Go west, young man." And about half the young men in Seattle drowned. That's it. Humor. But see, the problem was... getting there. They didn't want to walk. It was thousands of miles, so they used to use these donkeys. Not these, of course, that's just a toy. but they would take real donkeys, and then they would hook these wagons on these donkeys, and then the donkeys would pull the wagons out westward. Oh. That's the whole idea behind that. And they used to have to hit them, whip them real hard. It may sound inhumane, but the donkeys weren't that excited about going west. So that's it. I'll be the, they call them mule skidders. I'll be the mule guy, and I'll play the part of that, and he'll play a part of the donkey. Okay, you ready?
You trade, you trade, clippity clopping over hill and plain. Seems as how they never stop. Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity, 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 clippity clopping along.
See, I don't sing, it's a record.
There's a bloody chawbaccy for a rancher in Corona, a guitar for a cowboy way out in Arizona, a crystal telescope for a pretty Navajo. Get along, get along.
It's all timing. Perfect timing with the crack.
You train, high. You train, clippity clapping through the wind and rain. They'll keep going till they drop. Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity, 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 clippity clapping along. There's a someone who had made the order, a Bible in the pack for the Reverend Mr. Black. Get